Matt, like the guy said to his missus when they went into McDonald's for a quickie, let's dispense with the foreplay and get straight into it, because we've got a lot to cover. A lot.
Okay.
And that is the most random intro we've ever had. But I wanted something short and sweet. And now I've done it too quickly because the frame rate stuff hasn't even loaded in yet. But it will now, Matt. And we have got a lot to cover. Because, yeah, exactly. Good start. As you can see, the Xbox One S is runs at about 25 to 30 FPS, which isn't ideal. Whereas the Xbox One X runs at like 30 to 35. Sometimes it goes up to 38, 40 if you look down, weirdly.
Okay.
So it's not capped, clearly. And that is kind of a trait across all the versions. PS4 runs about 29 to 31 with the odd dip to 28, 27. PS4 Pro runs at about 28 to 33, again up to 40ish if you look down. And then we've got the Xbox Series S, 2 modes, fantastic. You've got quality mode, which runs about 32 to 37, can go up to 40, and performance, which is about 45 to 50, can go to 60, and then you got the PS5, which is 40 to 45 on the quality mode, and 55 to 60, can go up to it stays about 60 when you look down, and that's the PS5. And I think I got through them all.
Okay.
Oh no, the Xbox Series X, I forgot that one. That runs at 35 to 40 on quality mode, can get to the mid-40s, and performance mode, a quite disappointing 43 to 48-ish on average.
Okay.
But that can hit 55, 60.
Yeah.
It all depends on the angle of the camera. If you're looking down, it's as if it's a better frame rate because it's not loading in the world.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry. Hi Matt, how are you? Yeah, that was a lot.
It's all right. There's a lot to talk about with frame rate, right?
Yeah, and there's also a lot to talk about for the next 10 minutes or so, 12 minutes, about the difference in versions. Now, notice the bottom left. As you go up the versions, you get, well, especially even 1S to PS4, you get more shrubbery.
Oh, okay.
More plants, more grass, more environment detail. So as you can see, as you go to the PS5 there, you get the grass down the bottom and stuff like that. So that is one of the takeaways from this entire video.
Yeah.
I'm going to show many different shots. I think it's another 10 different shots and angles and all. We've gone all the way across the first area because I didn't want to do too many spoilers.
No, that's fair enough.
There's a lot of difference in lighting as well, I've noticed, but that's mostly down to the fact that this is an open world Dark Souls game, effectively.
Yeah.
And it's got a weather system that literally can be raining, foggy, so it's just made it infinitely harder for me to do this video.
Yeah, everything's got a weather system these days, right? It's making your life very difficult for
it really
comparison
is.
shots.
But the 1S is not a good version.
No.
It's 25 FPS to 30 FPS, not great. Doesn't look fantastic. What is a great version is the Series S version.
Yeah.
Which comes obviously with the performance and quality, which will make fans happy. It is a little bit disappointing though that all the versions aren't solid 60s. There's no solid 60 mode.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised about that, and I'm surprised that the Series X in particular seems to be sort of 45 to 48, like you were saying. Like the PS5.
Yeah, that was the kind of the mid in the middle of combat kind of thing.
Oh yeah, but even then
it does go up to 60.
Yeah, I'd expect that to be 60 even during that. Do you know what I mean? Like for those
100%
PS5 and Series X, you sort of I'm a little bit surprised, but tech stuff has never been From Software's forte, right?
No, they're a weird studio as well, right? Because Sekiro was uncapped, and then when they uncapped it, wasn't it 45 FPS on some platforms?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you played it, I mean, I think we did a tech test when the Series X came out and put Sekiro on it, and even then it wasn't hitting 60,
no,
and even though it was uncapped. So yeah, they are a strange studio for performance. I mean, for Xbox, slightly less of an issue, right? Because Xbox has VRR. Variable refresh rate. So if you've got a monitor or a TV that supports that, you're going to get a smooth experience even when it's below 60, right? But
yeah, but then on the flip side, the PS5 it's a higher frame rate on the PS5.
Yeah,
for the most part. So they kind of even themselves out. Maybe that's why it's a lower frame rate on the Series X. I don't know, but the PlayStation does have the edge. In terms of visuals, there isn't a lot between it. And obviously, we've got the two modes side by side. We've just been yapping over it. But like, you can see that the detail on the ground, and you can see the extra plants and grass there as the Series X came in. And then as it goes to the PS4, sorry, the One S, you see the right just takes a load of detail out of the environment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive drop in detail for the One S, isn't it? Like, it seems like the Xbox was the secondary or the tertiary platform here, like, compared to the PS4 and PS5, right?
Yeah, but the Series X visually looks very similar, as you can see there, to the PS5. Yeah. It's just the frame rate that's an issue. But the One S, I feel like they've had to make a lot of concessions just to get it running. The PS4 does all right.
Yeah.
It's a fairly solid version. PS4 Pro and the One X, decent versions. But like, it's still just the 30 FPS though. Well, I say the 30 FPS, the 33 FPS and the 35 FPS. Because like the Pro, about 33 at its max. And then the One X is like 35 at its max. So you get 2 extra frames if you've got a One X.
Yeah. This is the most interesting one we've done in a while, right? It's the weirdest comparison that we've had. Series S, I'm really impressed with, I've got to say. Yeah, and the quality mode looks actually really decent. Yeah.
And you'll see in the next few shots how the quality mode does look better. This shot especially, like the bush is a lot blurrier in performance mode than it is in quality mode. Like, but, I mean, is it worth that extra 10, 15 frames? See, it's weird. Usually we're talking about 30 frames.
Versus 60, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's like, well, on the Series X, we're talking, let's say 37 versus 45. So you only get an extra 8 frames, but it's just a weird thing. But as you see, as we go to the next version now, which comes in the PS5, look at the extra detail. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, no.
Like, more grass and stuff like that makes the world feel more alive, which is great, obviously, because it's your next-gen consoles and stuff like that. The only disappointing aspect out of all this, because I love the art style and all that, and while it might not be as gorgeous as, say, Horizon, what From Software have that a lot of developers don't is that the kind of this incredible art direction.
Oh God, yeah.
And this crazy imagination in terms of environments.
The worlds feel really interesting, right? Like, there's a real like verticality to the open world as well. Like, you hear open world and you think wide, but there are so many areas in this game where you are, it feels like miles up from an area that you were before, and you look down and you're like, oh God, that's far away vertically, as opposed to like a wide open world. And so it's a bit of both of that, and that art direction is beautiful, isn't it? And more alive.
And also, Matt, it goes down as well. So it's not just obviously up. You go down into dungeons and stuff, right?
Yeah. There's a real there's a height and a depth to the world, and it's really, really cool. Especially when you find yourself like climbing an area and not realizing it, and you get to the top and you come out and you look down, and you're like, oh, I was there like 10 minutes ago, and it's just this tiny little speck at the bottom covered in mist or something. And we complain about weather stuff when it comes to comparison videos because it makes it difficult, but that's a nice extra for this compared to like previous From Software games where the weather is very much designed around the area. You think of Demon Souls and the sort of the island storms, that whole area, whereas this you get sort of a different vibe depending when you're there, whether it's day or it's night. Yeah, artistically, it's good.
These shots, weirdly, are the exact same time because you can. There's they're not called camp bonfires. What they called these?
Sights of Grace.
Sights of Grace. So the Sights of Grace, you can change the time to morning, noon, and evening. Yeah. So every Sight of Grace, I basically changed it to morning and then just respawned at the site. So these are all the exact time of the day, but the different lighting is all the different cloud cover and the different weather systems. And in some shots, you can actually see that in the kind of the right hand side where the trees are.
Yeah.
It's a little bit foggier in some shots, but it's crazy just trying to get these to match up. But sometimes you'd fast travel, it'd be raining, and it'd be like, oh my God. But we're going to see some interior shots in a minute, and I do feel like there are different lighting almost models between the different versions.
Okay.
Just because I'm in a cave, so surely the lighting shouldn't be affected because I'm in a cave. I'm using standard volumetric lighting in specific places. Maybe not this one, but this one's just more about the detail in the rocks.
Yes.
Like the PS4 is actually a decent version. The Pro version's it's good.
Yeah.
You can see the slight, but as you move up, you'll see more detail in the environment, more rocks and stuff like that. And it's actually hard to tell the difference between the quality and performance mode on both the PlayStation 5 and the Series S, and well, maybe not the Series S and the Series X in internal environments.
Okay.
Because there isn't. I mean, they're more kind of handcrafted, right?
Yeah,
That's
and you know
the way I'm putting.
They're not having to populate everything in the distance as well, right? So it's only having to load in the little bits around here. I will say, actually, that's another little technical thing about this game. I think for sort of Series X, which I've been playing on, I think loading times are way too long compared to a lot of other next-gen games.
Oh, mate, funny you say that. I forgot I was going to mention this. The load times on the PS4 Pro, the 1S and the 1X are horrendous.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
If you die, you're waiting like 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not 3 or 4 minutes, but a long time.
Because I'm used to
annoying.
Sort of PS5 and Series X being, near instant coming back. And, this is a FromSoft game. You're going to die a lot of times, whether you're fighting something or falling off something. And I expect to be back in seconds, but I've got enough time to open up my phone. Do you know what I mean? Which I've not had on Series X for a long time. So that's a disappointing tech thing.
It's about 5-10 seconds, right?
I could not tell you what it is.
1 or 2.
It's just too long. You can just tell it's too long, and that's something that I haven't had with a next-gen console in a while now.
Well, with the comparison stuff, I have to fast travel around a lot, so I'm well aware of that situation because I'd click on it. The first bit would go really slow, then the next bit of the bar would go really fast, and then it'd leave 1/8, and then just 5 seconds later it'd just load.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a slow load. Right, you're going to see the roots on the roof here, but also the lighting and that. And do you see the difference between the PS4 and the PS5?
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
Right. And this is the same default setting as well. All the versions are on the same settings. Whether you just need to pump the brightness up on all but the PS4, I don't know. But the 1S and the 1X quite dark as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But then you kind of go, it's even darker on the Series S, but there's still more, you look at the roots on the ceiling as you go from the different versions. There's more roots, the better the version, basically. But then you got the Series X, right, which has a much lighter. I couldn't work it out, because in certain shots, it's lighter on one console than the other.
Yeah.
And then, as you can see, the difference in light in there.
That's very bizarre.
Yeah, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it because, there's only one light source. It's just the same with this shot as well. This is the same shot internal. This is the caves and the mines that you get kind of sucked into. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, there's definitely a difference in lighting between the different versions. Weirdly.
Yeah, it is really bizarre because I was trying to work out because you can get a little torch that you can attach to your belt, and I was like, I wonder if it's that, but no. In these shots, it's a really wide amount. The whole area is illuminated more on certain consoles, right? This is a very strange game.
Wait, there's a torch, but the torch would have been on the PS4 and the PS5 version, which I didn't have, unless it could have been the weapon. The staff I was holding.
I doubt it. It's less about the torch that you hold in your hand. There's more a little belt torch that I've got equipped in the Xbox version. But most of the time, it doesn't equip.
This is yours,
and it's not there. Yeah, it's not equipped at the moment. It only lights up a really small area around you, so it's not that.
Okay. Well, that's that mystery solved. That it's not that. But we haven't solved the main mystery. But yeah, Matt, that is Elden Ring. Was it out? It's out Friday.
Yeah,
isn't it?
25th of February. It is funny because we're looking at this. I know that compared to a lot of games you've compared recently, technically it's a bit stranger and it's a bit weirder. But I've played for over 30 hours now, and a lot of that stuff goes away. The loading times are the only thing that's really bothered me. It's a really beautiful game. It's just it just could be a little bit better, right? Could be better frame rate and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And I would say the only massively negative thing is that this 1S is a little bit dodgy with the frame rate.
Cool.
But yeah, other than that, Matt, Elden Ring. It's out Friday. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, folks. Goodbye.
Bye.